What is up, JKD men and women? So, I'm on this live today to talk about my origin story. What happened with me and Jeet Kune Do? Not too long ago, I did a little poll here in this group, and you guys expressed that one of the things that you want to learn was my story or the philosophy. What is up, Johnson? So if you're watching this live, just drop a hi in the comments. So nothing really on the agenda today, just here to share my story and what happened with me and Jeet Kune Do. So if you have any questions, just put them in the chat and let's have a little Q&A going over here. So why are you in this group? How did we meet, Johnson? Or any one of you that's watching this live? So if you're watching this on YouTube, the replay, and you want to head over to this community, simply head over to Sena.group and click on the link. Type Sena.group on your browser and you will be redirected back here in my JKD group. So I know this group has been a little bit on and off for some time. That's because I've been building my other group, which is a stillness sanctuary. It's more of a, what is up, Lionel? How have you been doing? So I have been building my other group. It's a stillness sanctuary for healing. So now that it's up and running, I want to take a break from that and really come here to hang out in my origin place of birth, my natural habitat, just to talk about my passion, which is martial arts. And I know that at some point in time, you guys also joined this group because maybe you have trained with me here in Singapore at some point in time, or you have been wanting to train, but you never had the time. I know how it's like, especially now with the virus situation and things like that. You must be locked up at home and thinking, when is the next time you will ever be learning the punch that you want to learn, the kick that you want to kick, and the training lifestyle that you have always wanted to get yourself into. So in the meantime, while more and more people hop on this live, my story with Jeet Kune Do, man, where should I begin? So if you know me, you'll know that growing up, I was always I was very skinny, and I was very weak, and I would fall sick all the time. And I don't know if you understand this, but living through 10, 15, almost 20 years of, what is up, Robert? Happy to have you here once more. Growing up in this kind of a body is very challenging because I was a very playful kid. So there was a lot of things that I like to do, like sports, running around. But my body, I had asthma, I was skinny, I was uncoordinated, I felt sick all the time. So physically, it was very painful for me to go beyond what my body could do. Mentally, it's very tough for me to feel confident about myself. I would stammer a lot. I wouldn't dare to talk to people. Under situations that required me to step up, I would always fall back down. And emotionally, it was very painful as well. So living through that 10, 15, 20 years of low confidence, low self-esteem, I didn't even dare to talk to girls. And I didn't even dare to do sports and pursue what I love to do. So living in that prison of having no confidence, no self-esteem, I was passive, I couldn't perform. In fact, I never had a girlfriend all the way until I was 26 years old. Can you imagine that? And as a guy, being unable to perform physically, being unable to perform in sports, being unable to have a girlfriend when all my friends were having girlfriends, and I couldn't express myself. It was a very, very painful place to start. So I didn't know what to do, but in my mind, I always knew that my end goal was to build that self confidence. My end goal was to build that self esteem. My end goal was to be confident in myself. But I don't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. If you're watching this live, drop a hi in the comments. Let me know who you are, where you're from, so I know that you're watching. So it wasn't until one day I picked up this book. You see all the books behind me? So I picked up this book called Artist of Life by Bruce Lee. And I bought it in a very old bookstore. It was like a second-hand book. And when I read that book, it was a book by a phenomenal martial artist, but only a portion was about martial arts. The rest of the content inside this book were about poetry, drawings, personal stories. So I managed to get a glimpse of the personal life of Bruce Lee. And it made me wonder, this person is a martial artist, but how could he have such deep and clear thoughts? So because of that book, I began my healing journey, where I realized that through something so violent, through something that you could use to kill people, you could actually use it to gain clarity, to understand yourself and start healing from within, in the sense where I could become more certain of my thoughts. I could become more in control of my thoughts. I could become clearer of what were the inner obstacles inside me and actually become conscious. So that was a huge start, and that was a huge turning point. So eventually, on September 24th, 2009, so that's 11 years ago, at the time of this video, September 24th, 2009, I went to Google Wing Chun Singapore, because I didn't want to go straight to Jeet Kune Do because I felt that was too advanced. I wanted to start with some kind of a foundation. So I knew that Bruce Lee started with Wing Chun, and I knew that if I want to pursue Jeet Kune Do, then I cannot pursue Jeet Kune Do, if that even makes any sense, right? Because I know that the nucleus and the beginning of Jeet Kune Do was Wing Chun. So I was like, okay, where can I find a Wing Chun school? So I Googled Wing Chun Singapore. And I found two schools at the time. At the time, Wing Chun wasn't that popular, so there were only two schools here in Singapore. And I found one, and I attended one class a week. One class a week became two class a week. Two class a week became three class a week. And before you knew it, I was practicing every day. Every day I went to class. Every day I did the warm-ups. Every day I did the training, the punches, the kicking, the sticking hands, the wooden dummy, all of that. I attended performances, I attended sparring, I even joined a Muay Thai competition to test my skill, but I dislocated my shoulder and I got my ass kicked. I went to study fencing. I went to study Jeet Kune Do, and I was so passionate about what I was doing at the time. I actually started a blog, and I just called it Jeet Kune Do Singapore, right? I just called it Jeet Kune Do Singapore, and I was teaching for free inside my university. And so I had students that just joined me, my friends. I started a club, an unofficial club in school, and my friends just attended my training, and I had a platform, to express my passion, train with my friends. Before, after school, in between lessons, I would go work out, very backyard style and kind of things. And I got a lot of fulfillment, because growing up as a kid, I never had that kind of outlet, to build my body, to enjoy having a healthy, strong body. So I really, really treasured all my training sessions. I really treasured all my sparring sessions. I treasured every bruise, every bump, every injury, because prior to that, the 10, 15 years, I I wasn't even strong enough to do these kind of things, you know. So I was happy in my element. And over time, I realized that the people that trained with me, they had the same kind of problems that I had as a kid. You know, they didn't believe in themselves. They they didn't have that self-confidence. They didn't have the clarity in life of, you know, how do I bring out the best in me? So that became my message, and that became my story, right? So that was my experience with Jeet Kune Do. And by the time I graduated from university, I realized that I had a following, you know, so I actually never had a job. I just continued to teach. I turned my unofficial club into a school for the public, and I just continued to accept students, right? So I went on social media and I built my brand. I called myself JKDSean, and I put my message out there, and I just recruited students, you know. And then as this tribe grew, I started to automate and scale. You know, I ran ads and I put my message out there, and I turned it into an official business. So what started as just an outlet for me to heal eventually became my life, right? So all of this happened before I learned copywriting. All of this happened before I learned closing. All of this happened before I built the business that I have today. It was like this chapter of my life that I don't share a lot, right? So that is my experience with Jeet Kune Do. And what is up, Danny? So if you're watching this live, at some point in time, we must have trained together, or we must have met somewhere. So what was your story with Jeet Kune Do? And what is one question that you might be having in your mind that I can help you with? If you're watching this live, just throw it in the comments. If you watch this at a later time, throw it in the comments as well. If it is something private and you want to get started in something, a lot of times when people come and learn Jeet Kune Do from me, we do the training, we do the physical stuff and things like that, but my students, at the back of their mind, it's always to get their life in order. There is a physical blockage that they're experiencing in their life that they don't consciously know how to articulate. But as they train with me, they build their confidence and they build their clarity. And over time, they are able to achieve breakthroughs in their careers, in their personal lives that wouldn't have been possible, right? Because they keep the same tools. Their tools remain the same. But through Jeet Kune Do training with me, they are able to achieve all these spiritual and emotional breakthroughs, right? Because in martial arts, we always say, spirit first, tools second. So if you're currently experiencing a blockage in your life, share with me in the comments below. What is one thing that I can help you with, or you believe that training in Jeet Kune Do, whether we do this online, whether we do this in person after the virus incident is over, share with me your experience. What are your goals that you want to achieve for the rest of 2020? And what do you think is holding you back? And how can a breakthrough in training with Jeet Kune Do can help you to turn things around? If you watch this replay at a later time, if you watch this replay on YouTube, remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell so every time I release a live sharing like this, you get notified. And if you know of a friend that needs the daily dose of Jeet Kune Do, tag them in the comments below, send them the URL, the link to this video, invite them over to this group, Jeet Kune Do with Sena. That's SEANSENA.group. That's SEANSENA.group. And we can have conversations like this in the weeks and months to come. Okay? So if you're watching this live, any questions you have, just put it in the chat. one of you just DM me and say that, I want to train with you, but I don't have the money. I want to find the money. Okay, so I want you to understand something. When I was a kid and I was trying to learn martial arts, I didn't have the money. And I put together what I have. And I went to my teachers. And this is one thing that my mentors did for me that now I want to pay forward. So every single one of my mentors in martial arts, in spirituality, not a single one of them said that I'm not going to help you because you don't have the money. None of them did that. You look at how well I turned out as a kid, as a child, as a student. It was because I had the unconditional and full support of my mentors. At a time where I didn't believe in myself, at a time where I didn't have the resources, my mentors, they didn't shut the door on me. So if you want to buy any of my programs, you want to attend any of my coaching, and you don't have the money, just send me a message. Okay? We'll work together to create a solution. But what I don't want you to do is to keep silent and put the pressure on yourself and that kind of a thing, because at the end of the day, our mission is to help people get ahead. Okay, so understand that if you have a committed decision and I have a committed decision, there is nothing we cannot solve together. Would you agree? So the tools, the solutions, the resources, they will come when we are all in. It's a matter of time. Would you agree? So if any of one of you is watching this live or you're watching the replay, money is not a problem. Okay, so I don't want you to keep silent and put all that pressure on yourself. Make a decision, send me a message and say, I'm in. I want to train with you. I want to work with you. Okay, and we will work something out together, whether it's one of my programs for martial arts or mindset, it doesn't matter. Okay, I want to pay it forward. And I only have one policy, which is if you meet me halfway, every step of the way, I will show up. I will support you through the journey. The only prerequisite is, are you going to show up? Are you going to train? Are you going to do as I tell you to do? If you follow through everything I say, there is no reason you can't do what I can do. What you see today is when I'm 30 years old. You didn't see how I was like when I was 5-10 years ago, when I was weak, when I didn't have the resources, when no one believed in me. So to me, if I'm able to secure all these breakthroughs, there's no reason why you can't do it. If I give you all the tools I have, if I give you all the experience I have, there is zero reason, none whatsoever, that you can't achieve the breakthroughs that you want, that I've achieved. It's impossible. Okay, so don't keep your problems to yourself. Don't keep your limitations to yourself. Reach out, send a message. If it's private, you don't want to comment, it's fine. You can write to me on Telegram at Sean Sena, SEANSENA. Tell me who you are, where you're from, what you're going through, and small steps, okay? Small steps will lead to a big breakthrough. At the end of the day, we want to pay it forward. We want to help people in the same way that my mentors helped me when I had nothing, okay? So if there are no further questions, I'm going to leave this on for maybe another couple of minutes. If there's something in your mind that, because you are in this group for a reason, you sign up for one of my classes sometime back in the day, and there was something that you wanted to achieve, but you never got down to doing it. Okay, so I'd like you to share your experience. If you want to remain anonymous, just send me a private message, because I am on my desktop right now. So if you send me a message on Messenger, I will be able to see it. So one of you from Sweden is saying that over here, no one gives a shit. It's like normal over here. Our city has the usual problems on top of Corona, so it's like nothing changed. Here, people still being rude towards everyone, but the rest of the world is doing it the right way. People are really looking forward to the end of COVID. The number one thing I learned here is never eat Zubat soup. This is hilarious. So only Sweden is. This is hilarious. Okay, Robert is asking, what is the deeper core? What is up, Shahid? So it's Shahid, right? Not Syahid, right? Did I pronounce it right? What is the deeper core of Jeet Kune Do? Okay, Jeet Kune Do is essentially Bruce Lee. Jeet Kune Do is essentially Bruce Lee's process. It was Bruce Lee's expression. So the name Jeet Kune Do is just what Bruce Lee gave to his expression in life. There's only one problem, and that is he died. So when he died, what can we do about it? The best we can do is to preserve what he has taught, right? So that is Jeet Kune Do, the martial art, the science of self-defense, and there's also Jeet Kune Do, the philosophy. Now, whether you're talking about the vehicle or whether you're talking about the overall philosophy, it doesn't matter. What matters is the principles that Bruce Lee was able to identify and extract and pull out to make himself a success. How did he go being a Chinese at a time where Hollywood, in fact pretty much everyone, was racist? How did he achieve a breakthrough, become a superstar, the first highest paid Chinese Asian martial arts superstar at a time where people were racist, at a time where he injured his back and he couldn't, doctors told him that he couldn't do this anymore. So if you think about it, Jeet Kune Do is the ultimate breakthrough for him. If we don't talk about the movies, if we don't talk about the martial arts, if we don't look at all the mechanics and we just look at the essence of what he was doing, at the core it is a breakthrough. You understand? It is a breakthrough at a time where everyone told him that you can never recover from your back injury. It was a breakthrough at a time where everyone told him that Chinese, you can never make it. It was a breakthrough at a time where he said, you are not allowed to teach the Caucasians, the Westerners, Chinese Kung Fu. You're not allowed to do that. So at a time where all the restrictions were in place, he was the first to say, no, I can do it because I believe that what I'm doing is right. It's right for people. It is the right spirit to have. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm helping people to advance. So at the core, to me, this is the most valuable legacy. Right? I'm not going to talk about the martial arts. I'm not going to talk about the movies. Like all those to me, they are just the mechanics. So in your life, what is something that everyone says that you can't do? What is the one thing in your life that is even you yourself believe that you can't achieve? That is your application of Jeet Kune Do, because it doesn't matter if you are this phenomenal martial artist inside the dojo, but outside the dojo, your life is shit. Can you get your life in order? Can you overcome your limiting beliefs and build the dream lifestyle that you want to have, that you deserve? To me, this is the essence of Jeet Kune Do. So your martial arts should flow through all areas of your life. Otherwise, what's the point of kicking fast? What is the point of kicking fast if your personal life is not in order? What is the point of punching hard if your business, your career, your lifestyle is not in order? Right? So to me, a martial artist is complete. He is holistic, right? He is able to advance and cultivate himself. So to me, that is the deepest core of Jeet Kune Do, if that makes any sense. Not talking about any technique, not talking about any technicality. This should be your essence of why you're in this group, why you're attending this live, why you're watching this replay, why you're watching this video. So in another 2 minutes, I'm going to bounce. So if you have any final questions, don't be shy. Okay? You never know how your life could change just because of one question. I put that one question into Google. Where to learn Wing Chun Singapore. And my life completely changed. So don't underestimate the power of one question. So I'm on my desktop right now, so if you send me a message, I will be able to answer it live over here. If you watch this replay at a later time, you can send me a message as well. So one of you just sent me a quote from Bruce Lee. Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life. Is this from Bruce Lee? Or you just put a photo of Bruce Lee? So that's right. Words are audio vessels. This frequency contained in an audio vessel, it's like water inside a bottle. So the water is the essence and the bottle is the vessel. What you don't want is a bottle. It's just used to contain the essence, which is the water. So every word you use, whether you write it out, whether you say it out, whether you type it out, inside it contains a frequency that contains an intention. That is why it's very important that you affirm yourself. Even Bruce Lee wrote down his definite chief aim. Okay, so if you're watching this and you want to know the story about Bruce Lee and his definite chief aim, let me know. Maybe we can turn it into a lesson down the road. So I'm going to call it a day. If you watch this replay at a later time, okay, so I'm having another message. Okay, so this is some private stuff. I'm not going to share this, maybe at a later time. So if you're watching this replay, drop a comment, let me know who you are, where you're from, and what is one thing that you want to achieve with Jeet Kune Do training. I'm going to turn it into another training session live in this group, and it is a new beginning, it is a new group, but we are going to grow this group. We're going to get our message out there that martial arts can be used as a spiritual tool to advance your life, to advance your career, to advance everything that you want to advance in your life. Until next time, it's Sena. Have a great day. Bye-bye, Robert. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.